Welcome to Module 4 of the Guru Code, and now we're going to be discussing monetizing your websites. Now, one of the biggest secrets to earning a lot of money, like the gurus, is earning it in as many different ways as possible. And here are some of the most common ways that gurus make money on a single website. Of course, they sell a product and they collect their percentage of the earnings. They promote other people's offers on that same website and collect their affiliate commissions there. They collect email addresses of people who show interest and following up with them, as well as offering them related products through an affiliate link. They use coaching floors, which are teams of people who are hired to get on the phone with somebody and literally go step by step through the process of using a product after somebody's bought it. And upsells. If they have another product, which this one wouldn't apply to someone who's new to ClickBank so much, because this is for people who already have other websites on ClickBank as well, or other websites elsewhere, I guess. But they would promote another one of their websites with another product of theirs on that website. This allows a guru to see streams of cash flowing in from more than one direction, and it also enables a guru to leverage his earnings in one area to increase his earnings in the rest. This is actually one of the best kept secrets by the gurus, and you're hearing it right now. So don't miss it. Let me reword it. This is so important. If you miss every other part of this video, hear this point. One of the biggest secrets the gurus are not telling you is the front end money doesn't matter. They will lose 100% of the front end money because they know that they can make so much more on the back end. And what the back end was all that kind of stuff I mentioned before. They'll give away a lot of money on the front end. They'll give away a lot of the money from the initial sale because they know that they'll get a lot of money elsewhere. The gurus have gotten so good at creating and maximizing their multiple streams of income that the amount that they make from the actual sale of their product itself is irrelevant to them. They don't even care. They don't care about the money they make from that. Now, I'm going to teach you how to play that same game. So pay attention. So if you've been following along, you're familiar with this, where we are right now, of course. I haven't done really anything since we left off, except I just hit enter once, so we're on a new line. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a button now that eventually we're going to link to our ClickBank account. And I'll show you how to do that when the time comes, but before we can do that, we need to get approved as a vendor and all that kind of fun stuff. So I'm just going to put the button here, but I'm going to leave it there just for later. So for the time being, you can ignore it. But I will show you how to put it on there. Click enter, insert image. And here are our images, which if you made your own button and you have it somewhere on your computer, you can do what we did before. You can, go down to select from hard drive, and you can find it that way. Or you could just use one of the ones that Paint or Excite Pro already has on here. It has a little section that says buttons. It has buttons blank too. It's got some buttons there, but then it's got some buttons here you can choose from. See? I like that one. Use this one right here. We'll just call it button. Alright, so there's our little buy now button, or get it now button. But what we're going to do here is something I just mentioned a minute ago was email submits, or gathering people's email information. People who show a genuine interest. People who show a genuine interest in this topic, and they might want to know more. Which is all really that is. So what I'm going to teach you to do here is how to get that information and how to use it. First, what you need to do is you need to sign up with an email service provider. The two that I have gotten the best results with, you will find buttons to below the video, like in many of the previous modules. I have buttons down there with, I try to put as many resources down at the bottom of the video as I can, because I really want to see you guys succeed, and I really want to make sure I'm giving you everything you possibly need. So I gave you two options. You can choose Aweber or GetResponse. I use both right now, as a matter of fact. You can use either one or both. But what I'm going to teach you to do here is to actually set up a little email opt-in form. Okay. So we're going to put it over to the right. We're going to off-center it a little bit. Now remember I just touched on this before, this forms wizard. What we're going to be talking about, this is one of those things that doesn't show up in Microsoft Word. We're going to be using this now. So you just click on it. All right, it has several options on here. I've never used ListMailer Pro or Xmail Pro. I wouldn't recommend using this just because if you get enough visitors and you get enough people who are interested in receiving email from you, you could run into some problems. I would highly recommend these two. They have good reputations on the internet. They're very, very strict in terms of preventing people from using them to spam. But for our example, I'll just use GetResponse. And I would recommend, before you can even go through this process, you would need to sign up for your own account. So I would recommend doing that before you even proceed watching me go through this whole thing. You can pick a style. There's a bunch of different styles. I go with a basic one because I actually like to stylize my my box myself. It's fine as far as width. We're going to make this just to be fun. We're going to be transparent. We're going to make that transparent as well. Let's see. We don't need a dividing line. Now I actually want to make my own headline. So I'm going to get rid of all the writing they have here. I'm going to do it all myself. You don't have to. I mean, you can do whatever you feel comfortable with. First name and email. It's the most basic opt-in form you can have. And you can change, like, you can change the fields here and all that, but no sense in doing it for our example. We'll just leave it as it is. You can change it later if you want. We can pick a button. Select a button. I like that button. That looks nice. Doesn't that look nice? So here's why you would already need an account set up, because you need to know your campaign name. Okay. Now for our example, we could just put something, just jargon, the Guru Code Test redirect thank you page. This is where you would want them to go after they signed up. If you don't want them to go anywhere, then you would just put the site's address again. You would put the same site they're on where they're filling out. You would just put that same address again. It would basically just not take them anywhere. That's what I actually recommend, quite honestly. If it's on your landing page, because you don't want them to leave your landing page because they're interested, so they might buy. So you want them to stay there. So whatever your landing page is, and you don't know what that, you might not know what that is yet because you haven't bought, I haven't talked to you about buying a domain or hosting yet. So you might have to come back to this part and tweak this later, which is no huge deal, but you might have to. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I know what that form is going to look like, so I'm going to put some text here above it. We'll shrink that down because that's really big. We'll make it black again. All right, now we take a preview. So here we have the same, we have our body, which, like I said, is not much of a body, but at least shows you what a body looks like. You've got your little opt-in form down here. You join my newsletter, and you've got a place for somebody to put their name and email address. You click join, and then you've got your Get It Now button. So this looks right. But in your email in your autoresponder campaign, autoresponder is a fancy word for email marketing campaign, either Aweber or GetResponse. In your Aweber account or your GetResponse account, anytime somebody puts their name and email in here, it actually goes into their GetResponse account. Okay, and GetResponse and Aweber are great about handling email addresses in there too. If you opt out, there's an opt out link at the bottom of every email that goes out from them. And if somebody clicks opt out because they really don't want your emails anymore, Aweber and GetResponse are good about making sure that happens. There are some other autoresponder options available out there that aren't nearly as reliable. That's why I encourage those two. But it's really that easy. That is the gist of the email marketing part of email capture and being able to use them. Now, obviously you want it to look fancier than this. Once again, I just put this up here and left that pretty much as it was, just to show you how to do it. I encourage you to play around with it, to have fun with it, to figure new things out. If you do, you can build a really nice website. This is the kind of, I'm talking, you can build a website like all the gurus use, all the professionals, all the ones who are bringing in 6, 7, 8 figures a year. Okay, what you're looking at here is actually inside my GetResponse account. All right, I'm showing you this. I could get into Aweber too, but I'm just going to use GetResponse as an example. What an autoresponder is, it's an automatic message that goes out after someone signs up for something, and it doesn't have to be immediate. It can be timed. For example, if I set up an autoresponder campaign and I wanted, and it was connected to a little opt-in form on our website, an email capture form on our website, like I showed you just a moment ago. And I wanted a certain email to go out to them exactly one day after they signed up. I could do that. And here's what I would do. I would go into create messages, and I'd go to create follow-up. That's what GetResponse calls an autoresponder. They call it a follow-up. And I can choose either an HTML format or I can choose a plain text format. It really doesn't matter. For the sake of this, I'll just show plain text because it's easier. I've got see it says send one day after sign up. That's exactly that. I said I wanted it to send one day after sign up. Suppose I wanted it 7 days after sign up. So the moment they sign up, there's a little clock that begins counting. And as soon as 7 days are up, they get an email from me, or however many days I put in here. I could put 21 days in here if I really wanted to. I wouldn't, but I could. But anyway, at that point you say, you just write your email. And with an autoresponder, I always like to put in place an autoresponder that solidifies, it assures them that they made a good purchase, that I'm here to help, and it usually goes over well. So I'll say, dear new subscriber. And this is always something, it's good to write. It thanks them for signing up. It sort of welcomes them. Um, it lets them know what you're going to be sending them up front. The tips that I'm sending out about how to quit smoking, which means you're going to be showing, you're going to be constantly, not constantly, but occasionally, you're going to be occasionally emailing them tips on how to quit, maybe other sources that have other methods on how to quit and that sort of thing. It says together we can all beat this thing. It sort of brings about this feeling of camaraderie, which is good. So this would be a nice introductory email. And so let's say I wanted this to go out the moment they sign up. I would put 0 days, which would mean as soon as they sign up, it would go to their go to their inbox. They'd receive the email. So I would set that up and I would click save message, and then I would go through the process of setting it up and all that. Now I'm not going to go through that process because it's really unnecessary at this point, and I don't actually want that going out because nothing about I don't have anything in here. I'm not in a non-smoking niche, so that would come across as really weird. But it's really, really that easy. And obviously I would sign it saying, I would sign it saying, something like that. But yeah, it's that easy. Now, that's what an autoresponder is. Now, there's something else we can do called a newsletter. And what a newsletter is it's not something that's timed based on when somebody signs up. It just goes to everybody at once. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be everybody in your entire account, but everybody in a certain campaign. So if you have more than one opt-in form, you want to make sure you split those up in campaigns in case you want to send one a letter or an email without sending the other one a letter or an email. So, we could do the same thing. We'd go through here, click choose plain text, and we'd do the exact same thing. But it would be something like this. Now, it's helpful, and this is where you would do actually some promotion and make a little bit of money this way. What I encourage and what I try to do is before I ever promote anything to the people who have signed up to my newsletter, is I make sure that I either go through it and make sure it's good stuff, or I have a good reputation with the person who created it. Okay, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot if you start shoveling out junk to people. And that's happened before to me where, I thought something was decent, but then for whatever reason, a bunch of people didn't like it. And I got a lot of bad replies. And that happens from time to time. But you have to understand it's just the luck of the draw sometimes. You do what you can. You try to give them the best data possible. You try to give them the best stuff possible. And then you let the chips fall where they may. Some people will get it and they'll catch this and run with it and they'll make a lot of money. Other people will start calling you names. That's the nature of email marketing. If you end up with thousands and thousands of people in your email campaign, that's just what's going to happen. For example, I think I have probably 37,000 in this account. Just thinking for a second here. There you go. 36,000. Right there. All right. So when you get that many people, you're just bound to have somebody who's not happy with you. But I'm telling you right now. Some people are gonna love it. Some people are gonna hate it. You just gotta play the odds and rejoice with the people who take what you offer them and put it into practice and they become those giant success stories. And then what's nice is you can take those success stories and put them on your website. You can update your website and put success stories on there. I've actually done that on the Guru Code. I don't know if you noticed. Um, but there are a couple guys on, or there are a couple of testimonials on there. A few of them actually, probably four, I would say. A couple of them sent videos to me, letting me know how they were doing. One of them was a college student. You know, um, he was buried up to his eyes in debt, and he still lives in a tiny little dorm. But I got to talking to him, and he's making enough money right now that he can actually pay his tuition as he goes, which is pretty impressive. Given the price of education of college education right now. And the other guy's starting to make a ton of money as well. And those are just good things to hear. And for each one of those, I've probably gotten an email saying, "You're the scum of the earth, and I don't like you." You'll get those too, and it's really sad. And you can't totally blame those people for feeling that way because for whatever reason, what you sent them didn't click with them, and they got upset. Uh, I'm here to tell you right now that's going to happen. If you're successful, that's going to happen. And the the important thing is to maintain a positive attitude and to just be happy for the kind of people who take what you sell them and they're successful with it. And you hope for the best for those who don't. All right. So that's autoresponders. That's how you use an autoresponder to make money. What coaching is it's basically somebody who comes alongside someone who buys something new. And that something new isn't just a product. It isn't just something that's going to sit, and they're going to be able to use in their free time. It's more a plan of action. It's a strategy, even a lifestyle. A coach is a person that helps someone go through that. Now, here's a few myths that I'm gonna bust about coaching. Number one is coaching is not just glorified customer service. Coaches are not there just to answer your questions. Coaches are there to spur you along. Coaches are there to walk you through the process. They're not for general support. They're for individual, personalized, one-on-one coaching. I mean, that's what it is. There's a reason it's named that. They're there to come along you or come alongside you, much like a physical fitness coach would. Coaching is not cheap. I'm talking about one-on-one personalized attention. Now, those people, their time is money. They're using their time, to be with each individual. Coaching is not for everybody. Not everybody needs a coach to be successful. Also, not everybody who has a coach is going to be successful. There are people who it's just not going to work for. Coaching is not a scam. This is the biggest thing you see out there. If you Google, some coaching floors by name, you'll find a lot of scam reports. And honestly, that's more because people didn't understand what they were getting into. And that might be part of that might be the fault of the person who recommended the coaching floor to them, but some of it might be themselves as well. It all depends. It's a case by case basis thing, but coaching is not a scam any more than a personal trainer is a scam. Coaching does work for a lot of people. I have one of the people, in fact, that I quoted on my website is the product of using coaching. He spent quite a bit of money on coaching, but as a result, he's made about $200,000 in the last 6 months. Coaching can't be shown online. I can't get on here and show you coaching. Coaching is not, even though it is marketed through the internet, it's not done over the internet. Coaching is to a buyer, a product buyer, what a trainer is to an athlete, a personal trainer, a physical fitness coach, that kind of thing, a physical trainer. They're there to step you through the process, to push you, to motivate you, and to be there with you. Answer questions, do whatever. Basically, they are your coach. Like I said, not everybody needs one. There are some people who are self-motivated. There are some people who are intuitive enough to understand the process when they read it or see it, and they are self-motivated enough to not need anybody spurring them along. Not everybody can afford one. Like I said, it's not cheap. Coaching normally runs between $3,000 and $10,000, and so it's not cheap. But if you get a good coach, you get someone who really knows what they're doing, then it's totally worth it. And not everybody's going to benefit from one. Some won't benefit from coaching and will just feel like the money they spent on coaching was wasted. Just like if someone was to spend money on a trainer and not feel any more physically fit when they're done. So where can a coach or a coaching floor be found? Well, it all depends on what you're looking for. It's really not a question that you can answer because there's no central location where you can just look up coaches. It all depends on the niche you're looking at. Whether it's, there will be coaching floors dedicated to stop smoking offers. There are coaches that will be dedicated to diet and personal well-being, health and nutrition, physical fitness, um, stocks, just anything you can imagine. There are coaching floors for just about every kind of niche they have out there, because almost every kind of niche has a process that somebody needs to go through, and so a coach will go through it with them. So I can't tell you where a coach we found. What I can recommend is that you go to the website I've linked to below in that button. It's called the Warrior Forum. I would go there, sign up, and ask a question. Once again, that's not my forum. It's been some time since I've even been on there, but it's a good place to start looking for coaching. Just go there, sign up, and ask around, and you'll find some good marketers there who will point you in the right direction.